With me now in the studio is Michael Cox. He is a political scientist and director of academic affairs at Bahcesehir University here in Istanbul. Sean, thanks for joining me today. I know you were up late watching the hearing last night. Talk to us about what we're going to see today. We'll have an initial vote on Kavanaugh's confirmation. It's not the actual confirmation vote. So talk to us about how the process is going to work going forward.
The way that the process works is today the actual committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, will meet. There are 19 members, 10 Republicans, 9 Democrats, and they will make their recommendation they will take their vote, and they can either recommend to confirm the nomination, to reject the nomination, or have no recommendation. Whatever decision is made today will be passed on to the full Senate and the Senate leadership to take action in the entire Senate. Generally speaking, with a confirmation or a no recommendation vote, then the vote would go to the floor of the Senate, so the entire Senate can vote in the process. If it happens that there is a no recommendation, then the nomination would basically end at that point. Once it goes to the full Senate for a vote, there is a period of debate, and there are little, if any, procedural actions that the Democrats could take to stop a vote.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this vote is fair? We just had the hearing yesterday. We just heard from Christine Blasey Ford for the first time yesterday. People are still digesting what they heard from her and from Kavanaugh. The American Bar Association today is calling for the vote to be delayed and for an FBI investigation to take place. Is it fair to have the vote happen so soon? And then also to ask another question, if an FBI investigation were to take place, who would have to call for that to happen?
Well, to answer your second question first, if an FBI investigation were to take place, it would be up to the White House to initiate that. Aside from President Trump getting involved in this process and calling for the FBI to make the investigation, the FBI will not carry out any type of investigation. But was also regarding that, what was pointed out yesterday several times is the FBI asks questions and it notes the answers. It doesn't draw any type of conclusion. So all it is essentially an information gathering activity. Now, going back to your first question, I don't think it is necessarily fair at this point to have such an early vote, because obviously a lot of questions were raised at the testimony yesterday, both by Dr. Blasey Ford and by Judge Kavanaugh himself. Particularly his vociferous and argumentative defense of his character, while very striking, also raised some questions about his potential objectivity and his suitability for the court, which further investigation might reveal other incidents that have been dogging his nomination for the past 2 months.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think is the victim here? We heard from Ford initially, and she talked about the alleged attack. And then we heard from Kavanaugh, who came on and was very angry and actually quite emotional in his testimony. I mean, who do you think came across as a victim here, or perhaps was it both? To
a certain extent, both of them are victims of the political process. This is the first confirmation hearing that I've seen where it has been so heavily politicized. Going back to 1987 and Judge Bork, and to 1992 and Judge Thomas, we had the first inkling of politics being injected into the nomination process. But this one has been political from the beginning, where we have both sides making firm decisions prior to even interviewing Judge Kavanaugh or listening to any witnesses that could counter his positions or his testimony. So politics have definitely taken over this, and I think they have both fallen victim to that.
All right, Michael Cox, thank you so much for coming in and giving us your thoughts today.
Thank you.